Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe to One Love. Here is another edition of Sports Overview Topics, episode 133. Gotta talk about the epic end to the NFL regular season, which was on Sunday night. Playoff time is here for the NFL. 18 weeks are fortunately now in the books, and now we're gearing towards playoffs starting on Saturday through Monday for 6 games of wildcard weekend. We'll go over all the games for NFL Week 18, as well as, of course, the lopsided, to say the least, national championship game for college football between Georgia and TCU. Go over all that, but alas, thank you for joining me. If you're new to the podcast and you want to see more sorts of topics, find all the videos, catch up with me, click the subscription, go AJO21Love on the channel, find all the videos there. But thank you, and without further ado, let's get started. So, first I want to talk about some of the NFL head coaching vacancies. So, you could say that the first day after the NFL regular season is kind of Black Monday, because you get many head coaching vacancies and interviews start piling up, or requests for interviews. Pile up, and go figure that there's now 6 at least head coaching vacancies on the seat in the league so far. So after the game Sunday, Houston, Texas fired Lovie Smith after that great performance, losing the number 1 overall pick to the Bears. Got the Colts, got the Cardinals, who fired or let go Cliff Kingsbury year after he and Steve Kine, the GM, got big extensions. Broncos, Panthers, and other team, excuse me, what team am I missing? But nonetheless, we got some head coaching vacancies around the league, and it's stiff and bizarre. Now, some candidates are already being thrown out there. Frank Reich, the former Colts head coach, he's a name floating around. Jim Harbaugh out of Michigan. Sean Payton. DeMeco Ryans, defense coordinator of the 49ers. Ejiro Evero of the Broncos. I mean, there's few names. I mean, Ben Johnson, the offense coordinator of the Detroit Lions, who had a hell of a season. Um, but yeah, um, we'll see. We'll see which names take the real by storm in the NFL head coaching vacancies. But now let's get into it. The NFL Week 18 was a peculiar final week of the NFL regular season. Of course, the playoff picture has now been set, but had some quality games and definitely some significant ones over the weekend. So, Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-13 first game on Saturday afternoon. I mean, Jarrett Stidham had a overload game against the 49ers the week before, but unfortunately didn't find the same success against Chiefs as they garnered the 1 seed. Due to the Bills-Bengals game being canceled. So they will have to bye. But if they face the Bengals or the Bills in the AFC title game, it will be a neutral site. So that's a weird... It's a weird kamikaze dilemma. Excuse me, that's unfortunate due to circumstances, but I will say for the Raiders because the Raiders underwhelmed, certainly for me and two others, definitely this season, particularly their offense. I mean, they finished 6-11. I mean, I literally predicted the opposite, 11-6. I mean, yeah, just not really sure what to say. But their car, the offense just as a whole didn't right gelled together. I mean, part of it was the system. I'd say just part of it is their car. You know, it's likely his last year as a Raider. Um, See where it goes from here. But Jaguars on a positive note in the battle of the AFC South. Jaguars beat the Titans 20-16 Saturday night, going 9-8, winning their last 5 in a row to win the division. And the Titans coincidentally lost their last 7 games, 6 or 7, but nonetheless finished the season on a big losing streak, and you know it was a tight game, I will say, throughout. Josh Dobbs started again for the Titans. Didn't too bad. Um, there was a Weird miss by Trevor Lawrence in the back of the end zone. Missing a wide open receiver for a touchdown. But in the end, Jaguars got a fumble recovery for a touchdown, and they didn't look back after that. And Duval County will host a playoff game for the first time in 5 years. So, kudos to them. And yeah, Titans. Titans, Raiders. Starting off that, two teams that really disappointed me. The Titans, again, last year were my Super Bowl pick out of the AFC. And the playoffs happened. They came back, started off strong after starting 0-2. But, Traylon Burks injury, Ryan Tannehill getting injured. Just did not go correctly as planned, as they would have thought. Buccaneers beat lost to the Falcons 30-17. Desmond Ridder played well. There were a couple touchdowns. Tampa Bay, was locked into the 4th seed no matter what happened in this game. So they were just about getting their offense and Brady some time. So they were in there for over half the game. But kudos to Ridder for looking well to end the season. Some positive though for the Falcons looking toward next year. Bills beat the Patriots 35-23. What can you say about this game? I will say 2 kick return touchdowns for the Bills. Literally the first play after what happened to Damar Hamlin for the Bills. They do a kick return touchdown, rallies them ahead. Patriots made this really competitive, but what was really the missed opportunity clearly for the Patriots was 14-14. Patriots get a fumble inside the 10, and they only get a field goal. So, and then Bills just pulled away after that. So, yeah. Vikings finished regular season on a good note, 29-13 over in Chicago. No Justin Fields. Kirk Cousins played again really into the third quarter. The Dalvin Cook injury, had to see about that, but Vikings gets last week going into, they had the chance of getting the 1 seed. Now I know that Philly beat the Giants, but they fall down to 3. But facing the Giants, have to see about that. It should be a fun game still on Sunday. Bears, I mean, they got the number 1 pick and they got their quarterback. So, got some intriguing stuff to look forward to. But they need to build around the roster. Texans at Colts. Or Texans beat the Colts by 132-31. I have to say, some heck plays by Davis Mills. 2 fourth downs, so 4th and 12 to Brandon Cooks. And then a 4th and 20 from near midfield. Just throw in the end zone. Where he goes through Colts defender's hands. And Texans get it done, hit 2-point conversion, and sealed for the Texans into the number 2 pick. They finished the season, and they fired Lovie Smith after that. Look, I really felt that Lovie Smith had the team playing really motivated and really good over the last track of the season. I mean, I get it, losing the number 1 pick, but I thought with the way he had the team playing, it is what it is. Colts, they won their first game against the Raiders, and then they were a mess ever since. So, yeah. Dolphins won 11-6. Over the Jets, thanks to the Bills making the playoffs. Although, excuse me, so it wasn't a total loss for the Dolphins. Making the playoffs. They're losing 5 straight. But no, it was Joe Flacco for Skylar Thompson, and Dolphins just pulled it out. So, kudos to them. Jets, that collapse. They were 7-4. And then they lost their last 6. Yeah. Panthers finished on a semi-high note. Win in the Superdome 10-7 over the Saints. Steve Wilkes had this team playing better since taking over as interim coach. Hopefully he gets a chance to become the full-time head coach. Sam Darnold played okay since being the starter. Saints, just a big disappointment this season. Just a big disappointment. Steelers almost had everything go their way. Almost. Won 20-14 against Browns. Mike Tomlin, 16 straight seasons. No losing record. Got it done. So, good for Kenny Pickett. Good for the Steelers. Unfortunately, due to the Dolphins, the Steelers' season unfortunately ended on Sunday, but they got nothing to be ashamed of, starting 2-6 and finishing 7-1 or 7-2. So, yeah, kudos to them. Eagles got a little bit of a scare, but survived. Went 22-16 over the Giants, who started Davis Webb, and took out many of their starters. But at the end of the day, the Eagles got the 1 seed and the bye. I mean, I wonder if they saw the Cowboys Commanders game and felt confident, but apparently Jalen Hurts wasn't 100%. Hopefully for them, he gets better over the bye week. Lane Johnson will be his status going into the divisional round. We'll see, but those are two big questions going into their first playoff game. Giants, see how they fare versus the Vikings in the rematch on Sunday. Cowboys lost to Commanders, blew out. It was just not a good day for the Cowboys. Plain way to say it. I mean, have a chance at the 1 seed and the division. Didn't get either. Credit the Giants. Gave a little scare with their backups, but yeah, Commanders really controlled this game. I mean, Sam Howell didn't have a great game, but yeah, the Commanders controlled this game from the get-go. And the Cowboys are reeling. Going in Tampa on Monday. And we'll see. Commanders, I bet are kicking themselves a little considering how they looked a month ago, but they did okay. They did well. Broncos finish on a high note. 31-28 despite a disappointing season. Justin Herbert and the Chargers stars did play a good amount. And then Chase Daniel went in the fourth quarter. Still had a chance to win it. 3-point game, but Broncos held them off. And yeah, got it done. We just had to get overtime on the final week of the season. Seahawks beat the Rams 19-16 in overtime. Tight game throughout. Seahawks fell back. Missed a field goal that will win it at the end of regulation, but after a pick by Baker and let go, and they got the win in OT and are going to the playoffs thanks to the Lions. Rams, what a turnaround. What a Super Bowl hangover they had from the Super Bowl. I will say Baker showed some shine, and maybe still in LA going into 2023, but I think he showed some bright spots for teams going into next year. San Fran held on to the 2 seed. They beat the Cardinals 38-13. It was 14-13. 49ers. And Cardinals are hanging into it. But 49ers pulled away. This became too much for Arizona, signing David Blau again. 49ers looking strong. Brock Purdy. Great story. Great story. Happened in the early window, but due to my paper, it's a little messed up. Bengals beat the Ravens 27-16. This was a sluggish game start, but Bengals held their ground. Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, the coin toss celebration. Pretty much there. And then Sunday night, to equip it, Packers season falls short. They lost 20-16 to the Lions, and the Lions got done. If they weren't going to go to playoffs, they made sure the Packers weren't going either. So, there they go. Well then, well said. Now, before I get into my predictions for Wildcard Weekend, you have to go over, because that was something on Monday. National Championship game. Georgia Bulldogs. 65-7. Being TCU. What a beatdown. What a beatdown. Now, with all due respect to TCU, no one who watched that game can't say that if Michigan beat TCU, this game would be a hell of a lot closer. With Michigan's orchestrated, and TCU's a very talented team. It's just the level of the players. Such difference. Such difference. I mean, yeah. But close to Stetson Bennett, I mean, his college football story will soon be talked about, wrote about, made a movie about. I mean, a guy that walked on at Georgia, you know, went to community college, proved himself, was fifth string, came back, won the starting job, or took over when JT Daniels was hurt, never let go of it, and won back-to-back championships for the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, obviously it's team sport, but I mean, that story is something. Really something. Good for Stetson Bennett as he goes on. Maybe perhaps in the NFL draft. But I mean, the NFL draft's gonna be crowded, so you're gonna be curious to see how it fares. Of course, Jalen Carter, some guy top 5 pick at least for the draft this year, so we'll see. We'll see. TCU, I mean, Max Duggan gonna go into the NFL draft. You know, he had a hell of a season. I mean, just got overwhelmed in that game. Quentin Johnson is a hell of a playmaker, but yeah, just unfortunate how they got overwhelmed. Now, curious to see how the 12-team format is going to be more fun. I mean, more teams. Now, you have more chances, more meaningful games. But we'll see how it ultimately shakes out. But yeah. Kudos to the Bulldogs. 2 straight. Back to back. Good for Kirby Smart as well. Alright. Now let's get into it. Super Wildcard Weekend. Strange. But here to the playoffs. 6 games. 2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. So, curious to see how it all shakes out. Let's get into it. So, Saturday afternoon, Seahawks going to San Fran, take on the 49ers. 49ers 9.5 point favorites. You know, I mean, clearly, if this was the Lions, it'd be a much smaller spread. If there's Packers, I'm not sure. But I mean, Aaron Rodgers, nonetheless, it's their third matchup. Their first matchup, Trey Lance got hurt. Jimmy G was thrust in. It was kind of before this surge of the Seahawks. Because Geno Smith had a Pro Bowl year. You know, Kenneth Walker on the rise, probably going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Tariq Woolen may win. Well, he has a chance. It's him, Sauce Gardner, and Aiden Hutchinson for Defensive Rookie of the Year. But 6 picks for Woolen. In the second game, it was closer. But, again, 49ers have pretty much, their running backs are stout. Their offense line is stout. Their receivers, tight end, very good. Defensive line, linebackers, very good. Secondary and quarterback are their only 2 questions. Because, we saw a few games this season that 49ers can, in a shootout, it's a little different. And, at the end of the day, Brock Purdy is still a rookie. And he's been playing his tail off ever since getting the starting gig after that Miami game. You just don't know when or if a rookie mistake is going to really happen, which will end up costing this great team. With that being said, I don't think it will happen on Saturday. And 49ers get it done. Seahawks hang around, but for a while. But 49ers kind of pull away. The Seahawks barely cover. 23-14. 49ers win. This is definitely the most intriguing game for me of wildcard weekend. Jaguars hosting the Chargers. Justin Herbert for Trevor Lawrence. 2 guys, young, great QBs of the future, making their playoff debuts. One has to advance, one season falls short. Chargers 1-point favorites on the road. Jaguars have won 5 straight going into this. Chargers, they were up and they were down. It was not looking great for them in the middle of the season. They looked like they were going to fall out of the playoff picture, but they found momentum late. Receivers got healthy. Joey Bosa returned for the Rams game. Rashawn Slater will return to practice this week, but he won't play. It seems in this game. Both teams have athletes across the board. Austin Eckler, you could say, is having a great year, pretty much, as a running back, as a pass catcher, with how he's been getting into the end zone this season. Chargers defense has played much better. Jaguars defense has such across the board. It's almost a crime that they did not have any Pro Bowlers. You know, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, he had a hell of a season. Despite not being the starter until James Robinson got traded to the Jets. You know what I mean? Their offensive line, Luke Fortner, is really stout at center for a rookie. I mean, out of the fourth round. Their offensive line, now, losing Cam Robinson versus the Jets was a kick in the nuts for them. And they've still done well. Walker Little has done a fine job filling in. I mean, I think better coach and at home, Brandon Staley, playoff debut, Doug Pearson. It's going to be good. 21-17. Jaguars win out of their home crowd. Dolphins at Bills. I mean, sucks to say, but pretty much. If Tua was playing, I'd be worried about the Bills. Skylar Thompson likely would play. I mean, even if Teddy was playing, I'd be a little curious. But with Skylar Thompson, I mean, (28-12). Bills. Actually, I'll go 28-15. Just thinking Pens. 2015. Bills or Dolphins. Vikings hosting Giants. The rematch from week 15. Or week 16. Vikings 3-point favorites. Now, obviously, last game was a fun one. Vikings won with the 61-yard field goal by Greg Joseph. And they looked like, they could really pull it off. Probably get the 1 seed. Because Eagles were losing. And yeah. And then with the Vikings, it's been mixed reports. Blown out by the Packers, but took care of business in Chicago to close out the regular season. With the Vikings, it's pretty explanatory. if they don't get blown out, they're gonna make it close. They're gonna win. That's just how it goes. I mean, the Colts almost were blowing them out. Besides the Colts and the Bills, the Colts and Bills looked like they were gonna blow them out, but they let the Vikings back into it. Let them back into it. And Vikings rallied back, got done. So, if the Giants are gonna win this game, if they're gonna pull up the upset, they need. They're gonna have to punch them in the mouth and not look back. They're gonna have to blow them out. But I don't see this Giants team as good as they've been, as physical as they've been this year. They don't have the firepower. I mean, Saquon has had a very good year. But, you know, this is going to be their one key to look for in the offseason for Daniel Jones and the Giants. Playmakers at receiver. So, Giants may be competitive and again keep it close, but the Vikings are going to win. Pretty much. The Vikings are going to win 28-24. Vikings get the dub. Ravens at Bengals. Ravens Bengals round 3. Ravens likely not going to have Lamar Jackson again. So, I mean, Bengals 6.5 point favorites. Bengals get the dub 24-17 at home. Yeah. Main event. Cowboys going to Tampa. Cowboys 2.5 point favorites. You know, this is a real prove-it game for Dak Prescott. I mean, he's thrown a pick in every game since he's returned from injury. I mean, yes, none of them are his fault, but at the end of the day, the last thing you want to do going into the playoffs is play not your best football. And the Cowboys have not, really. I mean, at times they've looked great this season. Defense has been great. Offense has been really supportive. But it's been shaky the last few weeks. Now, Tampa Bay really showed an inspiring performance being the Cardinals on Christmas night and being the Panthers to win the division. Now, we know Tampa Bay has the pieces to get this done. We know they have the pieces. Question is, can they fully utilize them against Cowboys? I mean, if Micah Parsons doesn't and Trayvon Diggs don't mess up this game for Tom Brady, I think it's really going to be a stout, fun game. But Dak is going to have to play his ass off. He's going to have to play his ass off. At the end of the day, it's Tom Brady at home in the playoffs. 24-20. Buccaneers win at home. Send the Cowboys home again early. And Brady moves on. But either way, I can see the winner of that game giving the Eagles problems if Lane Johnson is so hurt, and because the Eagles are pretty banged up, and we'll see, but either one of those teams can get the Eagles some trouble. But nonetheless, that's the episode for you guys talking about Wildcard Weekend, NFL Week 18. It's a weird end to the regular season, but now we geared to the playoffs. But nonetheless, if you like this video, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, help out the video, help out the channel. Of course, subscribe as well. But thank you. All be safe. See you guys next week. Peace.